What if you could walk the same streets as Frédéric Chopin, stand outside his Paris homes, and visit the very church where his funeral was held? Today, we're spending an afternoon in Paris tracing the footsteps of one of the greatest pianists who ever lived. And along the way, we discover a few unexpected surprises.
Frédéric Chopin was born in Poland in 1810 and is considered one of the greatest composers for the piano in history. Nearly everything he wrote was for the piano: nocturnes, mazurkas, polonaises, waltzes, ballades, works that remain central to the classical piano repertoire today. Unlike composers who wrote grand symphonies or operas, Chopin focused almost entirely on the expressive possibilities of a single instrument, the piano. His music is intimate, poetic, emotional, filled with nuance and subtlety. In 1830, at just 20 years old, Chopin left Poland. Political unrest prevented him from ever returning home. He eventually settled in Paris, and it was here that he built his career, formed artistic friendships, fell in love, taught elite students, and composed many of his most enduring works. Paris became Chopin's adopted home, the city where he lived most of his adult life, and where his story ultimately came to an end. Today, we walk the neighborhoods where Chopin taught, composed, and refined the sound that still defines expressive piano playing today.
One of Chopin's early residences in Paris was at 38 Rue de la Chaussée d'Antin. During this period in the 1830s, Chopin was establishing himself in Parisian society, teaching, performing in salons, and composing works that would secure his reputation among the cultural elite.
It was here in the early 1830s, shortly after arriving from Poland, that Chopin began establishing his new life in the City of Light. Where we are is just next door to where Chopin's residence would be. Today, this area is filled with retail stores down below. So right behind us would have been where number 38 would have been. I'm assuming it would have been one of the residences upstairs. In the building somewhere behind us, possibly right around there. So we're following the footsteps of Chopin in Paris.
Very cool.
Chopin also lived here at 80 Rue Taitbout. By this time, he was deeply embedded in Paris's artistic circles. Paris in the 1830s and 1840s was the cultural capital of Europe, and Chopin became one of its most sought-after teachers and salon performers. Unlike Liszt, who dazzled large concert halls, Chopin preferred intimate settings, smaller rooms where subtlety and nuance could truly be heard. Many of his piano pieces we love today were likely shaped in spaces just like these. We're in front of one of the residences in the city where Chopin lived during his time in the city.
He lived here from 1842 to 1849.
Yeah. So part of our walking tour through Paris of the places where Chopin lived and some sites related to his life in the city. This address, 12 Place Vendôme, holds special significance in Chopin's life. He lived here in the final years of his life as his health was declining. Place Vendôme was and remains one of the most prestigious squares in Paris. For Chopin, living here reflected both his success and his connection to Parisian high society.
His relationship with the writer George Sand, one of the most prominent women in Parisian literary circles, was a passionate and complex partnership. They spent nearly a decade together, dividing their time between Paris and her estate in Nohant.
Though his health declined due to tuberculosis, Chopin continued to compose and teach until the end. He died at 12 Place Vendôme in 1849. This is the building just behind us today. It was in this apartment that Chopin continued composing and teaching, even while battling illness. In October 1849, he died in Paris at the age of just 39. Though Polish by birth, Paris had become his adopted home.
So we're in the Jardin Vendôme of 12 Place Vendôme, where somewhere around here is where Chopin passed. Standing in the center of the square is the Vendôme column, originally erected by Napoleon to commemorate military victories. It's a landmark that Chopin would have seen daily as he lived in this neighborhood. The Church of Madeleine is where Chopin's funeral was held on October 30th, 1849. The ceremony was attended by many of the leading artists and intellectuals of the day. When we entered the church, a choral performance was taking place. Sitting quietly and listening felt like a meaningful connection across time, imagining the music that once filled the space during Chopin's funeral. At Chopin's funeral, Mozart's Requiem was performed, honoring Chopin's own admiration for Mozart. It must have been an incredibly moving occasion, the farewell of a composer whose music expressed such intimacy and poetic sensitivity. Though Chopin is buried at Père Lachaise Cemetery in Paris, his heart was returned to Warsaw, Poland, a powerful symbol of his enduring connection to his homeland.
While exploring the city, we also stopped by the Vasque de Paris, the Olympic cauldron installed for the 2024 Summer Olympic Games. Depending on the season and programming, it may be lit or displayed as part of Paris's Olympic legacy. It stands as a symbol of global unity and celebration, a modern chapter of Parisian history layered atop centuries of culture.
Completely by accident, our Chopin walking tour led us to Rue des Martyrs, and what a discovery this turned out to be. This lively street is packed with food vendors, bakeries, open markets, specialty shops, and international cuisine. We saw everything from fresh breads and pastries to meats, wine shops, and Asian food vendors.
We've stumbled on this street in Paris, Rue des Martyrs, and this place has got some of the most yummy food that we've seen. Fromageries, these Asian places with this incredible looking dumplings, markets, wine shops. I think if you're looking for a unique place to eat in Paris, Rue des Martyrs is worth a visit because it's making me hungry.
We decided to sample some incredible Asian cuisine for dinner, something we hadn't planned at all. Sometimes the best travel experiences aren't on your itinerary.
We found this amazing looking little Asian restaurant on Rue des Martyrs called Cafe Richard's, and this is our choice for dinner. It looks wonderful.
We have raviolis, one is spinach, one is mushroom. You have squid. And then I have a little crab cake, papaya salad, and tofu, which you're going to help me with.
Yes. Looks good.
Yes.
Let's dig in.
Yum.
Yum.
I just tasted the spinach and it's just excellent. I'm not sure what's in it, but it's very tasty. A little bit of soy. Very good.
It's interesting, in the town where we live, in Southern California, we have many Asian restaurants, but there is nothing like this at all. This is fantastic. It's different for us. I've started to taste the mushroom, little ravioli, the salad. Exquisite.
If you visit Paris and love food, Rue des Martyrs absolutely deserves a spot on your radar.
If you're planning to trace Chopin's footsteps in Paris, here's a few tips. Cluster locations by neighborhood. Many addresses are within walking distance.
Research ahead of time. Most residences are private buildings, so you'll be viewing from the exterior.
Pair historical stops with meaningful musical listening. Bring headphones and listen to Chopin while walking between sites.
Visit the Church of the Madeleine and Père Lachaise Cemetery for deeper context.
And leave room for serendipity, as we discovered on Rue des Martyrs. Walking tours like this allow you to experience history, not just information, but as atmosphere. We've come to the end of another day exploring Paris, France. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to subscribe and catch us for another travel adventure.
Until next time, au revoir.